Love in an Elevator. "Good morning, Miss Abel," as the doors closed, said Jenks. "Third floor, if you're able," said Miss Abel, the minx. Their ritual flirtation behind the lift doors, conducted ascending or descending the floors, had continued for months now, with little progress. At confession, she'd conceded she'd naught to confess. Her priest had absolved her of not very much. Intact was her pride, dignity she could clutch on those cold, lonely evenings with nothing to do. Invitations you'd hardly describe as a slew. For his part, old Jenks was a generous sort, not prone to grand gestures, disinclined to cavort, as steady and measured as any you'd meet, reserved, with a twinkle, but very discreet. He thought he might venture that they go on a date, but bashfully thus far he'd left it to fate. Fears he was beneath her had stymied advance, diminished his prospects, and dwindled his chance. If only he'd known that Miss Abel was game. Beneath that veneer she was rampant, not tame. Her eagerness shrouded in feminine wiles, she longed to set free more lascivious smiles. One day, as the doors closed, she noted with shock that old Jenks was not present. So much for the frock, which she'd put on especially, with a bright matching coat. Her effort had been wasted, him not there to take note. Turned out, she learned later, he'd been rushed to St. Bart's, like many who suffer from a flutter of hearts. But thankfully his ticker was found to be sound, complications arising from wind, I'll be bound. Accepting the scare as a signal for courage, old Jenks set his course to quite soon propose marriage. Miss Abel accepted with a blush apropos, so now they use first names, Lavinia and Joe.